Hello, my friends. Just wanted to make this quick video for you. We're going over the course syllabus um, for our course together because I know I've been, especially for a kind of somewhat self-directed online course like this, I should have definitely had the syllabus ready right away. Um, and I can understand how you're like wanting to chart out your term and how things are going to go and stuff like that. So let's get to it. So basically what I want to do with this video is I know you can read through the course description and learning outcomes and that kind of stuff. What I really want to focus on is what my goal is for the assessments, right? Because I'm sure that's what some people are interested in. There's no textbook for this course, so all the materials for this course will be available through the site here, whether it's links to articles or videos or documents or whatever. If anything is dead, please let me know. Like if any of the links don't go to a journal or you're having trouble accessing any journal articles or anything, let me know and I'll get that updated right away. I think it's all good. Um, this class is a little different because it's a part one of a two-part class in the psych department. I need to teach somewhat specific content. I can have a lot of flexibility around the assignments and also around sort of some aspects of delivery and additional content, but I need to make sure that you've hit some core aspects so that you're ready for, so that you meet the prerequisites kind of for the part two. But I think it's gonna be fun. Like, I think this course looks like it should be pretty decent for the students. Like, I think the content's pretty interesting. What I wanna highlight and focus on, and if you haven't met me before, I'm Mike. Nice to meet you. I know I made that video that was kinda when I did the one take video from out in the forest or whatever. That seemed like a great idea at the time. Uh, but yeah, I think that, like, I'm excited to be your teacher. I think that like with a course like this, what I'm trying to do is set it up. I want to try to be clear with what I'm thinking with assignments. And then I'm really interested to see how you respond to some of the stuff. And I think I'll give feedback, and some of my interaction with you this term will be a little bit more around your assignments than around, since it's kind of a setup, self-directed, pull yourself through situation course. As you'll see as you go through it, right? It's like literally it's like 24 modules is just the word Nipsing likes, but it just means like there's basically 2 topics a week, basically 2 web pages that you read. Some of them will have links to videos or whatever. And what you'll notice is at the bottom of them, there's questions, right? So if you got on the site right away and you noticed that at the bottom there's questions and discussions, and you might notice now if you're super keen to it that I've dropped the discussion questions. I want to do that differently. I don't love the idea of the online discussion. Not that it's not doesn't have some value, but it's just in a course like this, what I really want to do is make sure that how I set up assessments for you is very clear so you know what you want, what I want. So on that note, let me just scroll down the learning objectives. Like you can read this on your own course materials. I basically just say that, yeah, there's courses broken into 24 modules, basically 2 a week, basically 2 topics a week. And if you've looked at the content part, you'll know that module just kind of means like web page within the course site. Okay, so when you look at the bottom of some of those modules, right, there's questions. And my thought is, and this is what we're going to do in this, is I want you to pick 5 of them, right? So there's 20. So that means that like you're not doing it for every single one. You don't have to answer long version responses for all of them or whatever. So what I want to do is say that for 5 of them, I want you to choose 5 of them and answer those questions. And I want you to think the criteria of format is 3. So either a 3-page response, okay, and you don't have to get fancy with formatting, right? You can just put module assignment number 1. This one I'm answering in relation to module number 9. Here's the question number 1, bit of your answer, question number 2, whatever, however the structure is, and because there's different amounts of questions in the different ones, up to 3 pages. Or if you're somebody that, and especially if you've done classes with me before, some of you have really liked doing like videos or audio, you can do that too. And then I would just say have 3 minutes as like a goal. So I think like a 3-minute paper or a 3-minute audio addressing those questions or video. And you'll notice I already have folders set up for that. So I'm trying to, with that, if that's kind of like the making sure that we've kind of covered the bases, but I also like giving students selection, right? You don't have to answer all the questions for all of them. Some of them be, maybe you're not super interested in the ethics one, but you are more interested in the censorship one, or you're more interested in the creativity stuff and a little bit less interested in the philosophy of art. So I want to give you some options of where to kind of dive deeper. So my point is, though, I would like you to read all of the modules and watch all the videos and all that, because I was going to say they're all fair game for the final exam, but that sounds a bit too scary. I don't mean that I'm going to like pull random questions. That's not my style at all. The final exam, I'll actually just jump to explaining that now. The final exam's going to be different. It's called a final exam just because, again, NIPSing the language of the course outline I need to stay true to, even though I'm able to format it differently. So with the final exam, what I'm going to do is give you a take-home test. Okay, so I'm going to give it to you early and have it due at the beginning of exam week. But my plan is I'll give it to you a few weeks early, and it's going to be like kind of like an assignment and applying some of the ideas from throughout the course. And I think I'm going to design a fun one. I already have my idea. I just don't have it totally finalized as a Word document yet. And I'm not going to show it till later because it's the final exam, obviously, right? But anyways, I'm hoping to make that something that's like enjoyable and as much as a final exam can be. Then the reflective journals, what you're going to see when I show you, scroll down and show kind of the schedule in a sec. The modules, those 5 things that you're going to do that I said, the 3-minute or 3 paper, you can do whatever ones, and you'll see that I said all 5 are due at this one time, which is like kind of late in the term. So my idea is like whenever kind of, if you have a bit of a break in your schedule and you want to just hammer out all 5, or if you're really busy right now and you want to do that later, that's where I'm trying to give some flexibility. Then in a couple weeks, I'll give the first journal article. So my idea, or not journal article, but journal, reflective journal question. So what the idea is that as you're going through, you're doing the modules, which are just basically questions related to what you just read or watched. And then the reflective journal is going to be, I'm going to do 2 throughout the term, and they're going to kind of be a deeper dive, give you some options of what you pick as your topic, but related to like the kind of, I don't know, unit or section of the course you just did. And then the final thing I wanted to say is online discussion. I think I mentioned this a tiny bit, but I'm going to do that in a different way too. I think what I'm going to do is have you review some content and do responses to it, and then if people want to share it and stuff, they can. But I don't know if I'm going to do this a little bit differently, and I'm going to present my idea for this in a couple weeks, and it's going to be around the censorship topic. And I have a pretty cool idea of what I want to do with it. So that's going to be coming to you soon. So let me just show you with late stuff. It's like with some of this stuff, like I know some of the wording in like course outlines, and some of it's because the course outline was a lot of how the NIPSing works, I guess, is that once the course is prepared this way and it's like designed as an online course, it's sort of stamped and approved. And so like some of the language sounds like, oh, students must do this, and it's like I'm pretty reasonable if you're sick or if there's a family issue going on or something. I'm pretty reasonable. So you can look through this. Yeah, this is just about kind of basic stuff. So as we get, I'll just do this quick to kind of wrap up, because I want to keep this video kind of tight, and just, even though I've been super rambly, I wanted to just hopefully not have people overwhelmed, because I know there's like tons of stuff and all of them have questions and you're like, what are we supposed to do? And that's completely understandable. What I'm going to ask you to do is pick 5 of the different modules or whatever and answer those questions, either 3 pages or 3 minutes, depending on if you're written or audio. And then there's going to be 2 times where I give you a reflection question. And when I do that, I'll explain kind of instructions for answering and what I'm looking for, format and length. And those are going to have written and audio options too. And then we're going to have, so you'll see there on the week 3, I'll give out the first reflective journal. I hope this is working. I hope you know. Oh, I should just say too, this is my 3rd time trying. I did like a super long StreamYard for your class one, which I like one taked, and I like went all over through this and everything. And I thought I was like going on all these talks about art, and then there was no volume recorded, so it was made just a brutal video. So yeah, anyways, I'm trying this. I'm hoping this is recording good, and that this will be the one I show you. So then you'll see the first reflective journal is going to be due on October 7th at 11:30. So what I did for due dates, just since this is like not a classroom meeting in person, just whatever week that the things due, I'm just making it due basically like Friday at 11:30. And I just say 11:30 because I used to always say midnight, and then that always throws people off. Like, do I mean midnight Thursday or Friday? So now I just say 11:30 p.m. Okay, so now by that point in the course, you've done the first journal, you've done the second one. You'll see here, just to jump ahead for one sec, on the November 11th is when the 5 modules will be done. Due, I mean, sorry. Right, so again, I tried to do that to give as much as I could give you like a tiny buffer or whatever, so that like if you're kind of not super busy at the beginning of term, maybe you want to chip that out now. And if you are, maybe you want to, you could also do that during your off week or whatever works for you. Although I recommend at that time that you do something more focused on your self-care. On the week of the 7th week there, I'll give out that media analysis exercise, and I'm being purposely a little bit vague because I'm working on something cool, and I'll do like a whole video presenting what that is. Okay, so and that'll be ready for week 7. All right, and then what's the only other thing? Yeah, I'll give out the test in the last week. And then you'll have until December 7th at 11:30. So I'll give out the test by the 25th at the latest. So then you'd have, which is kind of nice because then I was going to say you have a week to do it, but it's a little bit closer to 2 weeks. So that's kind of cool. And I tried to have it due right at the beginning of exam week. So again, it's like I'm trying to keep it a little bit out of your way. And it's going to be something that's going to be pretty manageable and more like kind of applying some of your ideas. And I think that's basically all I wanted to say. Okay, so you can start chipping away. I'm really interested to see what you come out with. The next thing I'm going to hit you with that's going to be kind of a major thing is going to be the first reflective journal. I'll make a video about that and stuff. And if people have any questions, reach out. And as we get into the course, I'll probably make some additional stuff because I'm kind of like super interested in seeing how people like this. I know um, I've never taught a class that I'm not like a little bit more involved making like long lecture presentations and stuff, but I'm going to kind of see how this plays out over the first few weeks and see how to engage it. But I'm excited and I hope that you're excited. And I would say just like chip away, find the ones that are interesting to you. Like the philosophers looking at art's really interesting, just looking at this quick. The artist looking at art's kind of interesting too, like what some of the greatest expressive minds of our times have thought, but then it's also and expressive in terms of like art and painting and all that, but also in terms of philosophy and also in terms of psychology and what psychology has said about art and what neuroscience, like what's actually going on in that space between the art and the artist, right? That's like Carl Jungian almost. Then the ethics, like there's so many kind of interesting topics, creativity and it's linked to art and what creativity is, and the link with mental illness is an interesting one. I think I mentioned it like really briefly in the other video I made you, and I went on a long rant on it in the video, the lost video about Van Gogh and how it's like he was that I was at that thing in Hamilton that was like it took my wife to the Van Gogh exhibit, and it was so cool because they did such a good job of like they would show one of his pieces of work and then they would kind of explain where he was at that point of his life, and then they would show like another, then you see like Starry Night, which is like a famous painting a lot of you have seen, and you hear the story that like at that time of his life he was like at his lowest, he was in an asylum, he had like things had really fallen apart for him, and yet he creates this thing that's like one of the most noted. If you don't know what I mean, just go on Google and put in Starry Night and you'll notice that you've already seen it. The guy that drew that was in a terrible place when he drew it. And so many people have it on their walls as an expression of beauty. so I just kind of, while I was talking there, I was thinking that's an interesting way I might engage a bit more with this course, is like kind of drop in each time and like add some, add an interesting like little, or try to add an interesting little piece that's extra. But anyways, I'm getting rambly, and I should keep in mind that I'm recording this and trying to do a tight video about the assignments. So again, just a quick review. No textbook. Everything in this course is based on the content that's that's in the content folder and that's presented in the modules, right? And so you're just working through the modules. You're going to pick the 5 modules that you kind of are most interested in, answer those questions, and then you submit those under the assignments folder. 3 minutes, I said, or 3 pages. And then the other thing is the reflective journals, which I'm going to be giving you basically questions, or usually I like to give a couple of questions and let you pick one. And then the media analysis assignment and the final exam, which more information will be coming soon. All right, I hope you're doing okay. I appreciate it. You're such a, what am I trying to say? You're kind group. It's like I know you've been waiting, and this is where I like also made this like, this has been like such a weird week, right? Like I'll just tell you, like so just starting back to school, right? So I teach full time at Conestoga and Kitchener. So like starting back to that, my wife goes back to work this week because she's been on maternity leave. My 1-year-old is starting daycare with a person that I really like. So I'm like actually really happy about how the childcare worked out, but still it's a major transition. And then my 5-year-old, who just became a 6-year-old a couple days ago, is starting grade 1. I should not go on this rant, but we went to, for her birthday, we took her to Barbie World in Mississauga. She kept coming up and being like, "Daddy, I keep pinching my arm, but I really am awake." What a place for kids. But anyways, that's I'm deep into this video. I don't want to restart. I don't know why I'm talking about Barbie World, but actually, if you have nieces or nephews or daughters yourself, it's like it was actually pretty fun. I was actually pretty surprised how much fun I had, because everything's like full size, like I'm talking way too much about this, but like the Barbie like camping trailer and whatever. To my daughter, it was like just her toys, like full size, right? All right. Stay positive. It's can be a cold world sometimes, but you're good people, and you know, I value our association. Cheers. I'll talk to you soon.